Today in the battle arena, we've got a fight for the ages. It's Superman versus Hulk. Only catch is, we're removing speed completely from the equation. So who's come out on top here? Well, let's find out. Rocketed to Earth as an infant from the doomed planet Krypton, Kal-El was adopted by the loving Kent family and raised in America's heartland as Clark Kent. Using his immense solar-fueled powers, he became Superman to defend mankind against all manner of threats while championing truth, justice, and the American way. Superman is arguably the strongest hero in the DC universe, and has performed some truly incredible feats of strength, even helping to move the entire Earth before alongside Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter. He's also held a miniature black hole in his hands, destroyed moons and planets, and has beaten down beings like Darkseid and Doomsday. Superman also has the ability to move much faster than light speed, so he has been able to travel across the known universe in days, as opposed to light years. In battle, Clark can move so fast, able to land hundreds of strikes just a few seconds. And his mind is just as fast too, allowing him to process, understand vast amounts of information almost instantaneously. Superman is one of the most durable beings in existence, able to stand bullets, missiles, bombs, other man-made weapons without a scratch. In fact, you're more likely to hurt yourself by punching Superman than actually hurting him. Also take attacks on people like Martian Manhunter, Superboy Prime, Mongol, Doomsday, Despero, Darkseid, and others. Even surviving direct exposure to his weaknesses like kryptonite or flying through a red sun. Superman has limitless stamina, as long as he's exposed to yellow sun radiation, and his body also emits a gravitational field that enables him to defy gravity and fly at faster than light speeds. Kal-El is able to suck in large amounts of air into his lungs and then create a strong gust of wind with it, able to control the temperature of which he expels this wind, resulting in his freeze breath. Superman also has the ability to convert stored solar energy into beams of thermal energy that can reach a temperature comparable to stars. Clark is a capable fighter and has knowledge of boxing, brawling, and pressure points, but he is by no means an expert fighter, instead relying on his incredible powers to win the fight. So, that's what we got in one corner, the Man of Steel, the last son of Krypton, Superman. But entering the ring in the other corner, well, it's the strongest one there is, the Green Goliath, the Hulk. After being boarded with a massive dose of gamma radiation while saving a young man's life during the testing experimental bomb, Dr. Robert Bruce Banner was transformed into the Incredible Hulk, a green behemoth who is the living personification of rage and pure physical strength. Now, Hulk is physically one of the strongest beings in the Marvel Universe, and has done some truly incredible things throughout the years. He supported a 150 billion ton mountain range, matched two Avengers teams for a while, overpowered Thor on multiple occasions, pushed spears of matter and antimatter apart, held the tectonic plates of a planet together, which would mean that he essentially held the planet together, since all tectonic plates kinda interlock like a puzzle. He destroyed an asteroid twice the size of Earth in one punch, destroyed planets and moons in the dark dimension, crushed adamantium in his bare hands, and destroyed Nightmare's realm with his sheer power alone. But the thing is, all of these feats are nowhere near Hulk's limits, because technically speaking, Hulk has no limits. Hulk's strength is tied into his emotion, more specifically his rage, which leads to the saying that the angrier Hulk gets, the stronger he gets. Hulk also has impressive superhuman speed, despite his immense size. He can run up to 300 miles per hour, can catch fighter jets and missiles with his bare hands, and his punches can exceed the speed of sound, as evidenced by the air shockwaves that he produces. Hulk is also able to jump so fast and high that it can reach orbit. Then Hulk also has superhuman durability, able to resist a ground zero explosion, Human Torch's Nova Blast, planet-shattering impacts, and a blast from Galactus. However, it is possible to damage the Hulk, but he is one of the greatest healing factors in the Marvel Universe, and recover and heal from literally any injury. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, Superman vs. Hulk is one of the greatest fights out there. Arguably the quintessential Marvel vs. DC fight. And it's a fight that I've always held Superman wins, mostly because of his speed. But what if we remove that speed from the equation? What if we equalize the speed in this fight? Who'd come out on top then? Well, today, that's what we're going to find out. And first things first, strength and physicality. And Superman is obviously one of the strongest heroes in all of DC. I mean, between Post-Crisis, New 52, and Rebirth, Clark has shown 9, count 'em, 9, moon level or even planetary level feats of strength. He's held back the moon against an ancient force that was causing the moon to fall into the earth. He's pulled the earth alongside Green Lantern, pulled the earth alongside Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter, pulled the moon alongside Wonder Woman and Green Lantern. He's moved the world into the Phantom Zone. He's moved both the earth and the moon. Then more recently, he's bench pressed the weight of the earth for 5 days straight, only barely broke a sweat, and along with Martian Manhunter, prevented Brainiac's ship from crashing into the earth, and the ship absolutely dwarfed the earth. He's knocked out Mongol with just a few punches. He's knocked out Wonder Woman with one punch, sent her flying from the sun all the way back to Earth. He's tossed Doomsday to the other side of the world. He's punched Hell so hard that it was felt from the core of the planet all the way to outer space. And has just casually taken Bizarro and tossed him out into space as well. That's just naming a few, considering that Superman has also injured people like Darkseid, Doomsday, Brainiac, and plenty more. He said himself before he's able to throw a punch hard enough to split apart the moon or shatter planets. And I personally believe that Superman would know his strength the best, and doesn't tend to lie or over-exaggerate. But if you don't want to believe Clark, well, maybe you believe Bruce, because Batman seems pretty convinced that Superman could turn the moon into dust too. And it's not just words either. He slammed Doomsday through the Bizarro moon several times and destroyed it. He's punched Bizarro all the way up to the moon, and punched Wraith all the way to the moon, actually through the moon. Superman has even completely shattered a planet just by jumping off of it. Cracked half the moon with just a shockwave from one of his punches. He split a small moon near Saturn completely in half. Then there's the infamous feat where Clark destroyed a shadow moon by running into it at just under the speed of light. And it's not like the shadow moon was standing in place either. It was moving over 4 million miles per hour. Superman was knocked out by the blast. That was just because the moon was made up out of unstable dark matter. He's held a miniature black hole in the palm of his hands. He's moved a solar system before, although the solar system was compressed since it came from a compressed universe, so don't really know how heavy it is. He's broken out of being frozen in time. He's broken through time and space, and his punches can break apart timelines. Basically, Superman is crazy strong. But so is the Hulk. He supported the weight of a star, although the effort did eventually transform him back into Bruce. He's held together the tectonic plates of the planet Sakaar, when people who were actually communicating with the planet itself believed that the planet wasn't going to hold. and he's also generated enough force to power the shield that was able to stop the planet destroyer Exitar. He's snapped Red Hulk's arm, shook the whole planet during a fight of mutated animals, and did it again while fighting against Red Hulk. He's repeatedly injured Thor and Hercules with his punches, sent them flying backwards, even stalemating Thor in terms of strength for an hour straight. And it took two of Sentry's hands to stop one of Hulk's punches. He's also knocked out Thor with one hit. One punch from the Hulk sent the Hulkbuster into critical condition. He sent both Hercules and Jane Foster flying off of him just by flexing his muscles. Hulk has even broken through the time barrier and broken the space-time continuum with his punches. And that's just scratching the surface for the Hulk when it comes to strength. He's injured both Zom and Zeus with his punches, and brought down a whole universe during his fight with Nightcrawler. He's so strong that Mad Thinker can't even calculate his strength. His power is enough to threaten the entire planet, and S.H.I.E.L.D. is fairly certain he can crack the world in half. Hulk is just insanely strong, and he's been this insanely strong across his entire career. So then, what about durability? Well, with Hulk, he's unharmed after explosions going off in his mouth. Red Hulk hit him hard enough to cause a massive explosion, and Hulk was perfectly fine. He's taken hits from Thor, Iron Man, and Giant Man all at the same time, and he's even taken his own punches before. Hulk took a punch from Thanos that sent him flying backwards, completely wrecking a small town in the process. And Hulk just smiled and jumped right back into the fight. He's consistently brushed off attacks from people on Superman's strength level, like Thor, Hyperion, Juggernaut, and Hercules, acted like they were nothing. He's taken nuclear blasts powerful enough to destroy islands, and literally did not feel the attack. Remember when Hulk withstood the weight of a star? Well, that attack was from Proxima Midnight's spear, which was forged and contained a sun trapped in a distorted space-time, making the attack both the weight of a sun and also an all-consuming supernova at the same time. And Hulk withstood that attack. He's even proven that he's tougher than primary adamantium, arguably the strongest metal in the Marvel Universe, as he's shrugged off an attack by the Mad Thinker that was capable of liquefying and molding primary adamantium. Hulk has also gone up against a villain named Galaxy Master, someone who can destroy planets with his blasts. And yet Galaxy Master couldn't kill Hulk even when he increased his power 10 times over. He's also gone up against Hirokala, so able to break apart planets as a side effect of his fights. But yet his full-on blast barely even injured the Hulk. Superman's just gonna have a real tough time injuring him, especially considering that Hulk has a crazy healing factor on top of his durability. I mean, he's recovered from everything from broken limbs, destroyed organs, severe burns, even brain hemorrhages almost instantaneously. He's had his eyes sliced out, had his chest cut open and his heart eaten. He's taken anti-regeneration acid to the face, been perfectly fine. He's able to keep on fighting with half his head missing. But then what about Superman? Well, he's been kicked across the entire state of Utah, landed in Colorado, been punched from Metropolis to China, punched from California to Tokyo, been thrown all the way to the moon, and actually been hit to the moon on several occasions. He survived an Empirix probe detonation, whereas Wonder Woman was knocked out by a similar blast. He's taken several blasts from Breach, who was able to one-shot Martian Manhunter, and he's taken planetary destruction multiple times, while weakened and in a pocket universe without a yellow sun. Superman was slammed into a planet with enough force that the shockwave went out and dwarfed the planet in comparison. He's had his mind swapped to Bizarro, and so Clark ended up punching his own body through the Earth, yet came out the other side perfectly okay. He's also been hit with the Claw of Horus, which draws upon the magnetic field of the Earth and is essentially like getting hit with the planet itself. He's even taken punches from Superboy Prime, flown through a field filled with kryptonite debris, flown right through a red sun, and kept on fighting against Prime. Also survived the collision between Apocalypse and New Genesis, and the subsequent explosion. And even though Clark was knocked out by this blast, both of these planets were much larger than the Earth. They've been said by both the Spectre and Zeus to dwarf entire galaxies. He survived attacks on the Void Hound, which destroyed 10 star systems in one test run. He survived a red sun energy blast that punched a 12-mile hole straight into the ground, and survived the red sun eater's detonation that was 50 times the size of the Kepler supernova. So yeah, both Superman and Hulk are insanely durable. Both Superman and Hulk are crazy tough. And we don't need to address speed, since speed in this fight is equalized. However, that's kinda all Hulk's got. He's a one-trick pony. Granted, that one trick is absolutely incredible. That one trick can beat just about anyone. But Hulk is all about his strength and his durability. Superman's got some more in his corner. For starters, he can still fly. Might not have his speed advantage in the fight, but he can still fly around. He's got his heat vision, which is powerful enough to vaporize Doomsday clones and burn the real Doomsday, defeat OMAC, one-shot Despero, and burn through Empiric's probes. So it'll definitely injure the Hulk too. Granted, that alone isn't enough to beat the Hulk, seeing as Hulk has taken blast from Thor, blast from the god Apollo, laser vision from Hyperion, and planet-destroying blast. But still, it's an advantage in Superman's corner. Clark also has his freeze breath. He's briefly frozen Wonder Woman, knocked Darkseid back with freeze pellets, and froze Bizarro. But Hulk has shrugged off the most extreme temperatures as if they were nothing. He's unaffected by cold that was freezing Spider-Woman. He withstood freeze attacks from gods before. But still, another advantage for Cal. And then Superman also isn't necessarily a bad fighter either. In fact, he's pretty skilled. More skilled than you'd think. He's shown some great skill and agility while he was depowered. He's trained in Kryptonian martial art forms. He knows some pressure points. He's even used them on Batman. He's been trained by Wonder Woman. Also a pretty skilled boxer. Again, all this another advantage in Superman's corner. He's used his skill to beat Wraith despite Wraith being physically superior. He regularly scans opponents with his X-ray vision in order to identify weak spots and target them. And like we've been saying, all this, just another one of the many advantages in Superman's corner. And so with all that being said, who's come out on top here? Well, I don't think it'll come as any surprise, but I think it's gotta be Superman. Their strength and durability is even enough to where either one could beat the other. That part of the fight is essentially a toss-up. But when you throw in Superman's flight, Superman's skill, his heat vision and freeze breath, even just his tactics and intelligence, even outside of Superman's speed, even if you remove that completely from the equation, Superman still just has too many advantages in the fight here. And so Superman is coming out on top. Superman wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sign off in the comments down below. Also, be sure the like button, subscribe button, and turn notification on the DanCo army. And I will see y'all next time.